If you watch this video, then you know that I got my boyfriend to synopsize books that I've read. And you'll also know that we yap so much that I had to make it separate videos. So that video is him synopsizing books I've read this year, and the video you're about to watch is him synopsizing my favorite books from last year. That was all the books we're going through from this year. Now we're doing favorites from last year. So these are like from that video you talked about that you were trying to guess my top 5 favorites, or 5 of my top 10, and you didn't get any of them. These are the correct ones. Okay. So we'll see if you pay attention. So this is Practice Makes Perfect.
Bodyguard romance. He's cool and has tattoos. What is she?
Look at the picture.
She's a florist.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember why.
You're just rolling completely away.
It's because I can't roll back towards you once I get off the carpet.
Yeah.
Why would a bodyguard need
to
be with a florist?
This is the sequel to the first book.
The sequel. So
the first book is called When in Rome. I didn't like that one.
Not the same main characters?
So this is a series where it follows like siblings.
Yeah.
So the first book is about the guy, not this guy, her brother.
Okay.
And then he has a bunch of sisters.
Okay, so I'm assuming they get connected somehow in the first book minorly.
So the first book is about like a pop star, like Taylor Swift type pop star that ends up in Rome, Kentucky and meets the baker in town. Okay. So this is her bodyguard.
Oh, okay.
And that's his sister.
Okay, so that's how they, and this is just, I mean, I don't remember.
So there is a plot to it. I don't know if I ever told you.
Yeah, I don't remember the actual plot for this, but I don't think I was ever told it. I think I was just told all of the like romantic cute scenes between them. So all I remember is that he is a bodyguard, she is a florist. They end up together, and like because I never got the plot. I just got the mush. You know what I mean?
This is one of those books where while I was reading it, I couldn't wait to reread it. I haven't done it yet, but so basically he's like he will not be in relationships. He just like one night with women. And she wants, you know, like a romance, like you read in books. She's a romance reader, and she wants a family and a marriage and all that, but she doesn't know how to talk to guys. So he is coaching her on how to date guys.
I see. She's read a bunch of.
She's better.
I was gonna say she's read a bunch of books. She wants to not now.
Okay. Anyway, you did pretty good with that one. Like I said, I don't know if I ever told you the like main plot of the book.
Yeah. So. She's just like, I just finally want to meet a guy who's gonna like make ice cream out of his cum.
She reads like Regency era and like pirates romance and stuff. Okay. But basically it's like this is like every like bookish girl's dream, you know?
She's like, I wish I could find a guy who never bathes.
Oh, I forgot how much I hate the texture of this. I'm someone who always leaves the dust jacket on hardcovers when I read it.
I always
because I don't like the feel of a naked book, but this texture is it's so bad I had to take it off.
I like it.
Anyway, the next one is Rock Paper Scissors by Alice Feeney.
This is the one where
this will be hard not to do spoilers.
Yeah, so
we'll try.
Yeah, this is they're in the school bus. They're stuck in the bus at one point, right?
Not this book.
That's another Alice Feeney?
No, that's Holly Jackson. Survive. And it's not a school bus, it's an RV. But anyway, you're close. Just not for this book.
Damn. I was really on it for that one. This is a completely different book then. Alright, what is the... I was going to say give me the main character description, but I have a feeling I already know.
The hint is it's about a married couple.
Oh, is this... Okay, well, that's kind of a generic... I was going to give a... Is there a plot element where at some point she suspects her husband? Because I feel like there have been a couple of books about married couples where that has come up at some point.
I wouldn't say she suspects him. They just have a rocky marriage.
Okay, but he is suspicious in some way.
He does something that he shouldn't do in a marriage.
He cheats on her?
I can't get into spoilers.
He washes the reds and the whites together? Like how bad are we talking here?
It's spoilers. I'd have to tell you the spoilers. It's like it's the plot twist.
Oh, what does?
But like, what's the setup?
That's what they're trapped in a cabin in the mountains. What was that?
They're trapped. It's like
you made the sound of like cellar doors opening.
So this married couple wins this retreat to this it's like a church or something that has that people can stay in. I don't know. In the snowy air and the snowy air and the snowy
other
whatever.
People in the church.
They get trapped there
with other people.
No, it's just them.
Just them.
That they think.
So
and stuff gets revealed. And a big key part of this book is the guy has facial blindness. Does that ring any bells?
Facial blindness. Is there like a long lost sister plot or something like that, or family member in some way plot?
I guess I've already given you the synopsis, so I can just tell you the spoilers now.
I'm just trying to remember if I can remember any details.
Part of it's told in letters that the wife wrote throughout their marriage. It kind of gives Gone Girl.
No, I do remember. I just can't remember what the twist is.
Trying to describe this twist to someone when they haven't read the book, it probably didn't make sense when I was telling you. Because I remember not really telling you much about the book, and then I finished it and it was just like, boom, and told you the whole plot in 5 minutes.
Yeah, so I very condensed.
It's hard to follow, too. Okay. This is my favorite Alice Feeney book I've read. Mm-hmm. It's very, very good.
Okay.
I don't think you got anything.
Yeah, I get no marks. Well, no, I guess not.
I had to say husband and wife. Yeah. I had to say, hey, look at the cover.
This has been bothering me the whole time.
Okay, well, you can't get them all.
I mean, it could have been worse.
Okay. The next one I'm going to pull is a series.
Okay.
Because the second one was my top from last year.
Oh, gosh.
This is the Once Upon a... They're backwards right now.
Oh, okay. I was going to say...
Once Upon a Broken Heart. The second one's Ballad of Never After. The third one is A Curse for True Love. So my favorite in the series was the second one. But I love these books. I have the original... these copies. I also have...
Did I buy one of those for you?
Yeah, so I read the first book, and I really liked it, but I didn't want to spend money on the second book, and so he bought me the second book, because I kept talking about it. I have these editions, and then I have the UK copies on my wall on display, and then I also have the Barnes & Noble exclusive of the last one, because both of my pre-orders weren't coming in, and I had to read it right away. So I technically have 3 copies of the third one, even though it's my least favorite. Anyway, what is this book about?
Wait, can I see the... Oh, okay.
Those are the pretty copies.
Okay.
You hung that shelf up.
I think I'm really afraid that I'm getting this confused with a different... This is Romantasy, right?
Yes.
You've been on a Romantasy kick, so I'm really afraid I'm getting this confused with another. Is this... the first book is like an arranged marriage thing, but there's a different dude? No.
No.
Which one is that then? There's like a fight in a pool near the end of one of the books, and then she's like, you know what I'm talking you know what I'm referencing, right?
No.
And they pull her out of the pool, and there's a big dramatic moment. She kills a bunch of people. There's a big fight, and we pull her out of a pool or something.
No. I have no idea.
Someone's gonna know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Is this the one? This isn't the one where it starts and she's like a peasant girl and she's hunting.
No, that's a Court of Roses. she I wouldn't say she's a peasant in this, but she's not rich either.
I knew I was getting you confused with a different one.
I'm still stuck on the pool thing you're talking about.
No, because there's a thing and it makes her a thing and she's like, I'm one of those things now, and she's pool or a fountain, some body of water.
Fountain. I don't know. Anyway, what is this series about?
Yeah, what is this one about? Because if
it helps, this is a spin-off series of another of the Caraval series, which I didn't talk much about.
That does not help at all.
This is people describe this as being kind of fairy tale fantasy. It's very whimsical, very fairy fairy tales, books you would read children or whatever. It's very, very light. It's very whimsical.
Okay.
So it's heavy on the magic, but not heavy on the fantasy, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's just very whimsical. And the main guy character in this is from Caraval, which I didn't talk about that series.
What's the main guy's name?
Jax.
Wait, isn't this the one where it's like, oh, no, I do know something where it's like, there has something to do with like the stories being told.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And no one, okay, no, I've got something here.
Okay.
So nobody knows the end to any of the fairy tales that they have.
Yes.
And that's what I got so far.
It's a curse in the north.
Yeah, it's
or
a
you
curse.
Can't tell the end of the fairy tales.
And then she's from the north?
Mm-mm.
She's not from the north, but she goes to the north.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. One of the two options.
Her name's Evangeline. That's not gonna help. Do you remember anything about Jax?
He's real hot. But I'm just assuming that because he's the lead in a romantasy. He's some
Jax
sort of royalty.
Yes, in a way. Jax is the villain from Caraval.
Ah.
Not the villain, a villain from Caraval. So he's like a morally great character.
Oh, Bailey, you're wheezing. He is a bad dude.
Okay, hint.
Hint.
There's fates.
There's fates.
They're people. Or they're magical beings.
Old
so
crows.
Jax is a fate. Does that help?
No.
Oh my god. I don't even remember how I would. I forgot. I left this bookmark in this book.
Oh.
Because it gives Jax. It's not give Jax if you've read this book. It gives Jax. Okay.
So he's got beef with the fates, or
he is a fate.
Oh. So
the description kind of sounds like nothing happens.
I feel like this is...
I've definitely talked about this book, the series.
No, I know you have, but I feel like you've also... This is another case where you have told me the plot, but I think you've talked about these books a lot, but I feel like 90% of it has been gushing about the mush, you know what I mean? And like
There's a reason I read romance.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, is that it's hard to... Because most of what you talk about when you tell me about these books is not the plot. You know what I mean? So it's hard to remember what the plot is because that's not what I've been told about these books.
Do you give up?
Give me another hint.
He's the fate. He's like the Prince of Hearts.
I feel like that's not a hint. That's just... What is the central plot? I assume she starts in some way antagonistic towards him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's enemies to lovers.
He's a villain.
Yeah. Well, she could be too, you know.
She's not.
It
starts kind of like a Cinderella retelling. Very, very lightly.
Enemies to lovers Cinderella?
Like, her plot is Cinderella, not their romance. If that makes sense.
Okay, so she's like the black sheep of her family or community or whatever. He steals her?
No.
Yeah, that was a shot in the dark again. I'm still thinking of that other book series, I think.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
The Court of Things and other things.
Oh, yeah, he does take her.
See? There's another case where I can't remember because
I guess
it's too similar to other, you know what I mean? All right, how about this? Give me the plot of the first book, and I'm going to see if I can get you the plot of the rest.
So Evangeline is in love with this guy. She finds out he's going to marry someone else. So she goes to the Prince of Hearts and makes a deal with him to marry the guy she loves, but he twists the deal. Mm-hmm. And just stops the marriage. She doesn't make her marry him. And she owes him 3 kisses that... he can take whenever he wants. Also, he has this curse where any people who kiss him die. So the 3 kisses are he makes her kiss someone else at his choosing when he wants, and it like benefits him in some way. So she makes this deal with this fate who's evil. It sounds like there's not much plot, but there is.
No, I was just saying that sounds like an elementary school-esque deal where it's like can I have your homework? Okay, but you have to kiss someone when I tell you. It's very
like I
funny.
said, it's very whimsical.
No,
fairy
you're right.
tale.
It's just very funny.
But yeah, that's the deal they make, and then the story is like her having to do those kisses, and like she does travel to the north. Okay. And she meets the prince there, and he's a big character. His name's Apollo. Do you remember me talking about Apollo?
No.
Okay. I don't even know how you would describe the other books. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Does he use all the kisses in the first book?
I don't even think he ever uses a 3rd kiss. I don't remember.
Yeah, then I have no idea what the rest of the series would be about.
I can only do it full spoiler. I don't know how to do it otherwise.
Yeah.
Well,
wait, so the plot is just her going around to places and then him being like, "Nah, you gotta kiss that one."
Well, so he obviously has an ulterior motive. So
Yeah.
he's trying to... But anyway, Happy Place by Emily Henry.
This is another summer. This is one of the ones that I was describing where it's largely based around the ownership of a summer home property.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not a crazy person. Like I said,
it might not be a beach. It might be like a lake. I can't remember what kind of garden.
I was like, so you maybe you haven't read that many of them.
But I like.
But the ones you have read, you have talked about heavily. So I feel like it's fair that I have them a little confused in my mind. No, because I'm trying to think of the plot lines, but I don't remember if the plot line that I'm trying to think of is from this series or if it's from The Summer I Turned Pretty, because there's also an ownership of a summer property.
Okay, this one follows adults.
I know,
Does that help?
I know, but I can't remember is there like a drama over whether or not the summer home thing is going to get sold? That's in The Summer I Turned Pretty.
It's not a drama. It is being sold.
Okay, but that's also a plot line in...
I honestly don't remember if that's in the book or just in the show of The Summer I Turned
You've
Pretty.
talked a lot about both.
I know, I have.
So that's fair that there is a romance story where...
Okay, so...
part of the setup is the summer home. So in this one, they're selling the summer home, so all of the people who would go there, all of like the friend group is all going there because it's the last time they're gonna get to go there.
Yeah.
And then...
What's the romance, though?
Saucy romance occurs.
But what's the romance? Because you got the plot that's not the romance plot. You got the friendship plot.
Okay, so the romance plot is not...
They're both in the friend group.
Okay, they are both in the friend group. Okay. What are you at? What is their like deal outside
what's
of
the trope? Yeah, what's their deal? What's the romance between them? What's going on? What's the trope?
They're like, they've been childhood friends, or not childhood, but they've been close friends in the same friend group for a long time.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what their specific dynamic is, though. Are they like... So what's the list of like trope options? I don't think
this is like a common trope that I like, but it's like a twist on the trope that I like. So what are tropes I like?
I don't know. I'm trying to think if it's like a twist on enemies to lovers. I don't think so. Because the only way that I could think that would work is if they were like friends, but very like highly competitive friends kind of thing. And I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a fake dating thing. I guess it is a fake dating thing then, but like you said, there's a twist on the fake datingness to it. So what is the twist on the fake dating?
Do you give up?
I feel like how much of a twist can you put on fake dating? It's probably just fake dating, you know what I mean?
No, but there is a twist.
The twist is that they actually do like each other.
That's always the twist.
Always the twist. Oh, the twist is that they're fake dating because they broke up. Mm-hmm. And they don't want to ruin it the last weekend at their place by... Okay, that's not
every fake dating plot.
No,
that's a twist.
But then
they're fake engaged because they were engaged before they broke up.
But then do they get back together at the end because they have a...
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, you know, so...
There's a lot of plot in this one. Like, there's it's the last time the friend group can go to the beach house, lake house, whatever it is. But each individual friend group's also having, like, each couple, because the friend group's a bunch of couples, so each of them are also going through their own things in their own lives. And then she's struggling with her job, which the job is also an issue in her relationship with Wynn. And yeah.
Okay.
So you did pretty good.
Yeah, I did pretty good on that one.
You did.
Like I said, I just needed to eliminate all of the factors and find out what makes it different than the other summer romance-esque books.
Okay, I'm trying to... Oh, okay. I was like, are there any more favorites from last year I need you to guess about? There are. Okay. This one. Fourth Wing.
Girl lives in a world, society bad. But yeah, it's a bad society. It's dystopian because she has to go to military school.
I wouldn't say it's dystopian. It's just the way their world is. I mean, it...
Yeah, that's... dystopian. Yeah, not like futuristic dystopian, but it is... maybe not dystopian is not the right word because it's not future. She lives in a flawed society.
Okay.
She has to go to military school. She has physical impairments. Mm-hmm. And she gets a cool dragon. There's a dude who she falls in love with. Is this the... That's a spoiler, probably. Is this the one where people also have powers?
So when they bond with a dragon, the magical bond makes them get an ability, but the ability is based off who they are as a person. And then the strength of it's based off their dragon strength, I think.
Okay.
That's how it works.
No, I'm thinking of the other book where the psychic people get killed.
Oh, people with certain abilities do get killed in this, but not her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like there's certain abilities.
There was a different series that you read where people have abilities and people with certain abilities got killed because they were too powerful. That's different, but a similar plot point.
Yeah, same plot point, I guess.
Which
basically the people in charge don't want certain abilities used against them, so they just eliminate those people, so they can't use it against them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the ability that she isn't one of those, but it is a strong ability.
It is strong.
I'm trying to think about, isn't the dude, he's in some position of authority inside the school that they are at.
So like,
I don't remember if he's a senior student or, okay.
He's on a higher level in his academic career and he's like a leader in the,
okay.
And they're broken into squads, so there's like squad leaders and wing leaders and stuff. So he is a position of power, but he is also a student.
There's a rebellion plot.
In most books.
I'm trying to think about more specifics about the rebellion plot.
Back to like, she's like in military school.
Mm-hmm. People try and kill her at some point.
Why?
Because you're allowed to. Because because their military school you just murder people.
Only the strongest are supposed to survive, so you can kill people.
Yeah.
But why is she a target?
Because of her parents. Were her parents involved in
her mother is the general of the whole everything.
Oh, okay, of like the whole, okay. Which, to be fair, now that I'm realizing it, the same thing that I said about the romance novels earlier, this series and Powerless, I understand a lot of differences. They are not the same series, but if you are not someone who has actually read the books, if you've only experienced them from people telling you the major plot points, very easy to get
Well, it's because they're modern books that take inspiration from books from like 10 years ago. Yeah. That's why they have similarities. Yeah. Are you still trying to guess things, or am I helping you? Or...
I think I pretty much got this one.
I mean, you did get a lot. Yeah. She her dad raised her to go into the scribe field, like the academic field, but then her mom is making her be a dragon rider.
Yeah, I feel like... So
she's in the military school because her mom forced her to.
Yeah.
And she's a target because of who her mom is. Anything about the love interest you want to say?
I remember he has some sort of ability that is... You described his ability before. Does it have something to do with, like, shadows?
Yeah.
Okay.
He can control shadows.
Okay, I nailed that.
Yeah, you did a good job. But who is he? Who is Xaden? I know you hate his name.
He's a nerd with a nerd's name. I'm sorry if your name is Xaden, but your name probably isn't Xaden, and if it is, you're like 12, so get off YouTube. God, Xaden. Ugh. You know, you can have the name Xaden if you're really cool. But
Xaden is really cool.
Yeah, but
anyway, what's the plot with him? What's the deal with him?
He's like super hot. And he's got like these dark, mysterious shadow powers, so he's also like an edgy bad boy. And I think he was involved with the rebellion before she was, or he is explicitly in opposition to the rebellion, one of the two.
Those are the options.
Well, no. I'm saying that his plot is very directly linked to the rebellion plot. I just can't remember which direction it is because I know in Powerless, and so I can't remember if this book is the same as that or if it's the inverse of that, but it's one of the two, and I feel like that's fair.
Okay. So...
I'm going to say I'm like 60-40 leaning towards he's part of the rebellion.
So before the book, like the history, there was this group of people that were seen as, I guess it was kind of like rebellion, I don't know. But they were all like killed because they were bad, whatever. So all their children are kind of being punished for their
So
parents'
his
crimes.
parents were rebellious.
So stop.
So literally.
No. So he is like, all those children are marked. They're forced to go to be dragon riders because they're hoping they'll all die before they reach adulthood.
Okay.
I think his dad killed her brother, so then her mom killed his dad or something like that. So she thinks he's gonna try to kill her because of their history.
Mm-hmm. So wait, she thinks that
Zayden's gonna kill her because of their beef between their parents, who his parents are dead.
Once again, in Powerless, once again, I feel like I cannot be held to fault for confusing these plot lines a little bit, because that's a very specific thing to have in both books. This is not a judgment, by the way. I'm not placing judgment on that. I'm not saying they're the same book. And I'm not saying they're like derivative of each other in any way. I'm just saying, not having actually read them, they are easily confused.
Well, when you break them down into plot points like that, they
exactly.
Okay, this is the one you think you're going to excel at.
I'm trying.
This is the one you think you're going to do great at.
This book? Or this
7 years
category?
Slipped. 7 year slip.
Oh, okay. So, girl moves into apartment? Okay. This is different than... I feel like there's a very similar plot, but it happens on a train. Is that a thing? Not in this book, in a different book.
I don't know.
Anyways, girl moves into apartment. There's a cute guy who is not in the apartment, around the apartment, or is he in the apartment?
In the apartment, but
in the apartment. At first, does she think he's like a roommate? Or is she just
but what's the plot?
No, I'm getting there. But like, before she knows what the plot is, what is her reaction? She's just like, dude, why are you in my living room? Or like, why is she chill about that?
She immediately knows what's going on. Well, at first she's kind of like, why are you in my apartment? But within like a few minutes, she realizes what's happening.
That's a weird thing to figure out.
No, because she already knows.
Before she moves there?
Yes.
That's weird. Why would you move into that house?
Keep going and then I'll tell you why.
So the man is stuck in a time loop type dealio. That's 7 years. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, then they fall in love, and then, yeah, that's it.
Like, I mean, you're close. You're very close.
I was just dead on the money.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a time thingy where he's like stuck, like he is 7 years in the past and she's in the present, and then somehow they're interacting and living in the same apartment.
You're very close.
And then at the end, like, they find each other because she's like, meet me here in 7 years or some shit.
Okay, do you want to know the details now?
Yeah, you're
very close.
No, I'm on the money.
So her aunt lived at this apartment. So she grew up visiting this apartment. Her aunt told her the story of how the apartment works. It's set in time where it slips through time, only in 7 year increments though. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you'll walk into the apartment and it'll be that apartment, but 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. So if someone else was living in the apartment 7 years ago, then you're in their apartment and you get to like interact with them. And then as soon as you leave the apartment, the rest of the world is exactly the way it is. And if you go back in the apartment, sometimes it's in 7 years in the past, sometimes it's present. Mm-hmm. So her aunt dies and she moves into her aunt's apartment knowing that's how the apartment is because she grew up knowing it. She's never experienced it. But then one day she comes home and there's this guy in her apartment.
How old is she supposed to be?
In her 20s, I think, maybe 30s. So basically, it was when her aunt was still living there, and this guy was like a friend of her aunt's friend or something, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So he was staying in her aunt's apartment while her aunt was traveling. So it's 7 years ago, but her aunt lived there, but this dude is staying there. So then she knows what's happening, and he doesn't. And she's just like, yeah, I'm crashing here. Did my aunt not tell you? Hmm. So she knows he doesn't. That's why she knows immediately. At first, she's like, what's going on? My apartment looks different. Who's this guy? But then she was like, oh my God, this is the time slip.
If you lived there for a really long time, how would that work?
Slip.
What do you mean it wouldn't slip?
Well, because if you live there for 10 years, if you went 7 years in the past, it would just be your apartment and it would just be you there. So it doesn't slip.
Yeah, but would it be two of you?
I don't think so. Again, it's never explained. I don't know if this is a spoiler. It's never explained how the apartment works. It's just a fact.
Yeah, I feel like
the apartment does it.
I feel like
because it's not a fantasy book. It's like magical realism. It's just a romance book that has
very realistic to me now.
It's romance book that just has this fantasy.
I just have so many questions.
They're not answered. They're not answered in the book. You have cat hair on your chin.
what happens if, like, you move in, right? And you're seeing someone from 7 years before, but then 7 years after that,
someone could see you.
Someone sees you. Are they going to see you also having the conversation with the person all the way behind?
Because it can only move in 7-year increments. So if you were seeing that person 7 years ago, you're 7 years ago. So that person 7 years in the future
is the timeline fixed in this, or can you change time? Like if I was standing in the apartment on September 10th, 2008, could I make some, like, could I go back and change a few things, or am I just gonna be like, dude, you're
because it's only happening in the apartment.
Yeah, but then someone leaves that apartment.
So I guess you could go back in time and tell that person something that happens in the future, and then they have that knowledge.
Yeah.
I guess that can happen. But you can't change the past other than using your words, because you're only in the past in that apartment. If you try to leave the apartment, you're back in the present. This is
why time travel sucks.
I know. Well, because it's not time travel. It's not time travel, not really. It's just
but it is. It is, though. You are explicitly interacting with someone from 7 years ago.
It's a romance book.
What happens if what if you tell that person to, like, hey, this is my phone number, text me and tell me to never come live here? Do you just, like, poof and you're no longer having the conversation? Like, what happens?
You have more cat hair on your chin. I don't know. There's not answers.
This is why I don't like time travel stuff.
This is the end of the spoiler-free section. Going forward, there will be spoilers of Once Upon a Broken Heart, the series, and Fourth Wing and Powerless, both of the series, I think. Please stop if you don't want those books spoiled for you. Apollo becomes a villain. Like, he erases her memories at the end of book 2. So book 3 starts.
That's what I was thinking of, I think, when I was talking about the arranged marriage thing. I just knew there was, like, some plot in this series where essentially she was, I don't know if, like, officially betrothed but in some way committed.
They do get married.
Yeah, that's
in the first book.
Oh, her and the prince?
So her and the prince get married, and then he dies, but he's not really dead. He's, like, in a coma.
Okay, I would count that as... I would say that my arranged marriage thing, you could have given me a little bit more on that.
I kind of forgot they got married.
Yeah, I was just... You see, I remember in detail, because that is an arranged marriage.
It wasn't arranged. He proposed to her, and she was like, oh, the prince proposed to me. I have to say yes.
No, maybe not arranged marriage, but definitely a facilitated marriage, because she makes the deal with Jax to stop the one marriage, and then he twist that on her. He's like, I'm going to set you up in this situation where you're going to marry this dude. So not explicitly arranged marriage, but definitely in the realm, you know what I mean? And then because that's what I was going to say, is that it's an arranged marriage thing, but then the dude that she is arranged to marry is not the male lead, and the male lead is involved with that somehow. And then the male lead finds out that he actually is attracted to the person who he set up in this arranged marriage, and it creates issues. That was going to be that's the original thread that I was going down on. No, but that's correct.
I don't believe that that's what you said. You would have said originally.
No, that is that's where I was going, because that is what I was thinking of, which is, I think, isn't that similar to A Court of Thorn and Roses, though? Because she is, like, married to this one dude, but then... So this is the book where... Or not married to one dude. Where essentially there's a guy who's just like, I'm going to take her back. She has to come live with me for a period of time.
That's A Court of Thorn and Roses.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, is that I was originally getting it confused with that, but then I was going to go down the other one, because it wasn't the exact arranged marriage thing. It was the set-up marriage, you know what I mean?
I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard to describe that series. But anyway.
This is probably a spoiler, she get a dragon that's young, and then...
This is a spoiler, but go on.
Oh, okay. Like, too young to be in the... get paired with a person if you're a dragon program, but then also she finds out that the ability that she gets from the dragon is, like, super rare and powerful and heavily controlled.
Not that part.
Not that part. And then, spoilers, she gets a second dragon, which you're not supposed to be able to do. And that one's really old and powerful.
So the second dragon is the young one she's not supposed to
the first one is the older dragon. The second one is the young one.
That's why...
Powerless is the one where her parents were the rebellion. Okay.
Which this will be cut out.
Yeah. Powerless, it's in the opposite direction, because in Powerless... the main love interest is the prince, and has been trained to essentially be the guy who puts down rebellions. Once again, in Powerless, there is beef because because in Powerless, her parents did the rebellion and he killed her parents, and then she killed his dad because he was the king.
So, like I said at some point in this video, we talked so much. Well, him, not me.
Okay. All right. I was not the only one who was talking a lot.
Anyway, this idea I had ran for too long, meaning I had to separate it into separate videos. So this is the end of the second video, which was Casey synopsizing my favorite reads from last year, 2023. So this is the end of our second installment of this video. You can watch the first one we did of him reading books I've read this year, and then the next video will be him synopsizing some favorite books of mine from the time we've been dating.
Wait, we're doing 3 whole videos? Oh, wow.
So stay tuned for that one.
Dang, I did much better the second round, right, than the first round.
Yeah, so you should do even better the third round.
No, I think the first round I at least got a little bit on each one. The second round I had some like complete whiffs, but the ones that I got I nailed pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah. So round 3, I'm gonna get 0 of them, I think.
Stay tuned for that. Bye.